The supplement industry has built an empire on your fear of aging. Every year, billions of dollars flow into companies that promise you vitality, strength, and mental clarity through a simple pill. Walk down any pharmacy aisle and you will see hundreds of bottles, each one claiming to be the solution to whatever ails you after 60. But there is something they are not telling you. Something that could fundamentally change how you approach your health in your later years. Some of these supplements that line the shelves, that your friends recommend, that even your doctor might suggest, are quietly causing damage to your body. Not dramatic, immediate damage that would be obvious, but slow, accumulating harm that builds up over months and years until one day you realize something is seriously wrong. And by then, the damage might be permanent. We are about to examine 4 supplements that people over 60 should absolutely avoid, and 4 that could genuinely transform your health when taken correctly. This is not about fear-mongering or selling you something new. This is about understanding what actually happens in your body when you take these substances, based on rigorous scientific research and real clinical outcomes. Let us start with the dangerous ones, beginning with a nutrient that sounds absolutely essential but becomes toxic when taken in supplement form by older adults. This is vitamin E in high doses. And the story behind why it went from miracle antioxidant to potential killer is one that every senior needs to hear. For decades, vitamin E was promoted as the ultimate anti-aging supplement. It made perfect sense on paper. As an antioxidant, it neutralizes free radicals that damage cells. It should protect your heart, preserve your brain, keep your skin healthy. Supplement companies started putting it in everything, often at doses far exceeding what you would ever get from food. And millions of seniors started taking it religiously, believing they were protecting themselves from the ravages of time. Then the research started coming in, and it was shocking. A comprehensive analysis examining data from over 136,000 people found that taking vitamin E supplements at doses above 400 international units per day actually increased the risk of death from any cause. Not by a tiny amount either. We are talking about a statistically significant increase that should have immediately changed how these supplements were marketed and prescribed. But here is where it gets even more concerning. Vitamin E is fat-soluble, which means your body stores it rather than eliminating excess amounts through urine like it does with vitamin C. When you take high doses day after day, it accumulates in your tissues. This accumulation interferes with your blood's ability to clot properly. If you are taking aspirin for heart protection or any blood-thinning medication, adding high-dose vitamin E creates a dangerous situation where even a minor injury could lead to excessive bleeding. Consider what happened to a 73-year-old man who started taking vitamin E supplements because he heard they would help with memory and reduce inflammation. Just 1 month later, he collapsed with severe dizziness. Bruises were spreading across his skin without any apparent cause. When doctors tested his blood, they found his vitamin E levels were 3 times higher than they should be, and his blood was not clotting properly. He had unknowingly put himself at risk of a catastrophic bleed, all from a supplement he thought was helping him. The safe amount of vitamin E for adults is just 15 milligrams or about 22 international units per day. You can easily get this from foods like almonds, sunflower seeds, and spinach. These natural sources provide vitamin E in a form your body recognizes and can regulate properly. But many supplements contain 20 or 30 times this amount, turning a beneficial nutrient into a potential poison. Moving on to another dangerous supplement that might surprise you. Vitamin A in its retinol form. This one is particularly insidious because vitamin A is genuinely important for vision, immune function, and skin health. The problem is that after 60, your body becomes less efficient at clearing excess vitamin A, and too much of it becomes toxic in ways that might not be obvious until significant damage has occurred. Research published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that high intake of vitamin A in its preformed state, meaning retinol or retinol palmitate, increased the risk of hip fractures by up to 79%. Think about what that means for someone over 60. A hip fracture at that age is not just an injury. It is often the beginning of a cascade of health problems that can rob you of your independence and dramatically shorten your life. The mechanism behind this is fascinating and frightening. Excess vitamin A interferes with vitamin D's ability to maintain bone density. It literally undermines the very structure of your bones from the inside out. But it does not stop there. High levels of vitamin A also accumulate in your liver, potentially causing liver damage that develops so slowly you might not notice until your next blood test shows elevated liver enzymes. A 67-year-old woman learned this the hard way. She was doing everything she thought was right for her health. She ate fortified breakfast cereals, took a daily multivitamin, and once a week enjoyed liver, which she had been told was nutritious. After a year of increasing joint pain and hair thinning, her doctor discovered she had vitamin A toxicity. Her levels were more than double what her body needed. She had been unknowingly poisoning herself through the accumulation of vitamin A from multiple sources. The solution is simple but requires vigilance. If you need vitamin A, get it from beta-carotene found in orange and dark green vegetables. Your body converts beta-carotene to vitamin A only as needed, making toxicity virtually impossible. Check every supplement label for retinol, retinol palmitate, or retinol acetate. If you see these forms, especially in doses above the recommended daily allowance, put the bottle back on the shelf. The third dangerous supplement is one that often flies under the radar because it sounds so beneficial. Vitamin B6 in doses over 100 mg per day. This vitamin is essential for nerve health, energy production, and brain function. But when taken in high doses, it becomes neurotoxic, causing the very nerve damage it is supposed to prevent. A study published in the journal Neurology documented cases of people who developed irreversible nerve damage from taking high doses of vitamin B6. The symptoms started subtly with tingling in the fingers and toes, then progressed to burning sensations, loss of coordination, and difficulty walking. Even after stopping the supplements, some patients never fully recovered their nerve function. The mechanism of B6 toxicity is particularly cruel. The vitamin that is supposed to support nerve health instead damages the protective myelin sheath that surrounds nerve fibers. Imagine electrical wires with their insulation slowly being stripped away. That is what happens to your nerves with B6 toxicity. Signals get crossed, sensations become confused, and your body's communication system breaks down. A 72-year-old man from Florida experienced this firsthand. He bought a brain-boosting supplement online that claimed to enhance memory and focus. It contained over 300 milligrams of B6 per serving, marketed as all-natural and therefore safe. Initially, he felt more alert, but 3 months later, he noticed burning sensations in his legs, muscle twitches, and a feeling like his feet were constantly asleep. His B6 levels were dangerously high, and he had developed peripheral neuropathy. His neurologist told him he sees several cases like this every year, almost always from over-the-counter supplements. The truly frustrating part is that most seniors only need about 1.5 milligrams of B6 per day, easily obtained from foods like chickpeas, salmon, and bananas. But because B6 is added to energy drinks, protein shakes, fortified cereals, and multivitamins, it is shockingly easy to exceed safe limits without realizing it. The damage accumulates silently until the symptoms become impossible to ignore. Now we come to the most dangerous supplement on our list. One that millions of seniors take without question because it seems so fundamental to health. Iron supplements, when not medically necessary, may be the single most harmful thing an older adult can add to their daily routine. After 60, especially for men and postmenopausal women, the body's need for iron drops dramatically. You are no longer losing iron through menstruation or growth. Yet many seniors continue taking iron supplements, either because they always have or because they assume more is better. This assumption could be deadly. Research published in Clinical Interventions in Aging found that older adults with normal iron levels who took additional iron supplements had twice the risk of oxidative damage. This is not abstract cellular damage we are talking about. This is real, measurable harm to your organs, blood vessels, and brain. Excess iron acts like rust in your body, generating free radicals that attack healthy cells, inflame arteries, and accelerate cognitive decline. The storage of excess iron in organs is particularly dangerous. It accumulates in the liver, potentially causing cirrhosis. It deposits in the pancreas, increasing diabetes risk. It builds up in the heart muscle, leading to cardiomyopathy. And perhaps most frighteningly, it crosses the blood-brain barrier and contributes to neurodegenerative diseases. A 67-year-old woman discovered this after taking a multivitamin with iron for 6 months. She had chosen it because the label promoted heart health and immune support. She never had her iron levels tested, assuming that if it was in a multivitamin, it must be safe. Within 6 months, her energy plummeted, her joints ached constantly, and she developed chest discomfort. Blood tests revealed elevated ferritin levels indicating iron overload and signs of liver inflammation. Her doctor immediately stopped the supplements, but it took years for her iron levels to normalize. Unless a medical professional has tested your iron levels and diagnosed a deficiency, you should not be taking iron supplements. Full stop. Most older adults get adequate iron from their diet, and adding more through supplements is not just unnecessary, it is dangerous. If you are concerned about your iron status, ask for a complete iron panel including ferritin and transferrin saturation. These tests will tell you exactly where you stand. But not all supplements are dangerous. In fact, there are 4 that most seniors should be taking daily, starting with one that almost nobody talks about but could be the key to keeping calcium in your bones instead of your arteries. Vitamin K2, specifically in the 7 Malawian kwacha's form, is perhaps the most underappreciated nutrient for aging adults. While everyone focuses on calcium and vitamin D for bone health, they miss the crucial third player that determines whether that calcium actually helps or harms you. Without adequate K2, the calcium you consume might be hardening your arteries instead of strengthening your bones. A groundbreaking study published in the Journal of Nutrition followed people who took 180 micrograms of K2 7 Malawian kwaches daily for 3 years. The results were remarkable. They showed a 50% reduction in arterial stiffness compared to those who did not supplement. But it was not just about cardiovascular health. The same study found improved bone mineral density, particularly in postmenopausal women who are at highest risk for osteoporosis. The mechanism is elegantly simple. K2 activates proteins that direct calcium to where it belongs in your bones and teeth while preventing it from depositing in soft tissues like arteries and kidneys. Think of it as a traffic controller for calcium, ensuring this essential mineral goes where it helps rather than where it harms. A 72-year-old man discovered the importance of K2 after his doctor warned him about arterial calcification despite his healthy lifestyle and regular calcium supplementation. He had never heard of vitamin K2, but after 6 months of daily 7 Malawian kwaches supplementation, not only did his arterial health stabilize, but his chronic leg cramps disappeared and his energy levels improved dramatically. The calcium he had been taking was finally going to the right places. The 7 Malawian kwaches form is crucial because it stays in your bloodstream longer than other forms of K2, providing sustained benefits throughout the day. Food sources are limited mainly to fermented foods like natto and aged cheeses that many people do not regularly consume. This makes supplementation particularly important for seniors. The second essential supplement is one you have heard about but probably are not taking enough of: vitamin D3. After 60, this becomes absolutely critical for everything from muscle strength to immune function to mental health. Yet more than half of all seniors are deficient, often severely so, without realizing it. The research on vitamin D3 for older adults is overwhelming. A study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that seniors with low D3 levels had double the risk of muscle weakness, falls, and hospitalization. They also showed significantly higher rates of cognitive decline and depression. This is not just about bone health anymore. This is about maintaining your independence and quality of life. Here is something most people do not realize. After 60, your skin's ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight decreases by more than 50%. You could spend hours in the sun and still be deficient. Combined with the fact that many seniors spend less time outdoors and use more sunscreen, supplementation becomes essential rather than optional. A 74-year-old woman who loved gardening learned this after a fall shook her confidence. Despite spending time outside daily, her vitamin D levels were severely low. Once she started taking 2,000 international units of D3 daily, her energy returned, her balance improved significantly, and she has not had a single fall since. The transformation was so dramatic that she became an advocate for D3 testing among her friends. The key is taking D3, not D2, which is often added to fortified foods but is far less effective. D3 is the form your body naturally produces and uses. Take it with a meal containing some fat for optimal absorption, and consider having your levels tested to determine your optimal dose. Most experts recommend maintaining blood levels between 30 and 50 nanograms per milliliter. The third essential supplement addresses multiple issues that plague seniors, from nighttime leg cramps to anxiety to poor sleep. Magnesium glycinate is the form that provides maximum benefit with minimal side effects, unlike the oxide form commonly found in cheap supplements. Nearly 80% of seniors do not get adequate magnesium from diet alone, and the consequences affect every system in the body. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions, from energy production to nerve function to muscle contraction. When you are deficient, everything suffers. Research published in the journal Nutrients showed that magnesium supplementation significantly reduced muscle cramps, improved sleep quality, and helped stabilize blood pressure in older adults. But the form matters tremendously. Magnesium oxide, the cheapest and most common form, has poor absorption and often causes digestive upset. Magnesium glycinate, however, is chelated with the amino acid glycine, making it highly absorbable and gentle on the stomach. A 71-year-old man taking 3 blood pressure medications while still experiencing fatigue and chest tightness discovered the power of magnesium glycinate. After starting 300 milligrams before bed on the recommendation of a nutritionist, his sleep improved within days. His leg cramps vanished completely. Over time, his blood pressure improved enough that his doctor was able to reduce his medication. The addition of this single supplement had addressed multiple issues that prescription drugs had failed to fully resolve. The glycine component provides additional benefits, having a calming effect on the nervous system that promotes better sleep without the grogginess of sleep medications. Taking magnesium glycinate in the evening helps prepare your body for restorative sleep while supporting overnight muscle recovery and repair. Finally, we come to the supplement that might be the most critical for maintaining cognitive function and energy after 60. Vitamin B12 in the methylcobalamin form could be the difference between aging with vitality and sliding into decline that gets blamed on old age when it is actually a correctable deficiency. After 60, your stomach produces less intrinsic factor, the protein necessary for B12 absorption. This means even if you eat plenty of animal products, you might still be severely deficient. Research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that nearly 40% of adults over 60 have B12 deficiency or borderline levels, often without obvious symptoms until significant damage has occurred. The symptoms of B12 deficiency mimic many conditions associated with aging, including dementia, depression, fatigue, and balance problems. How many seniors are being treated for these conditions when the real problem is simply B12 deficiency? The number is likely staggering and tragic. A 67-year-old woman was convinced she was developing Alzheimer's disease. She kept losing words mid-sentence, felt off balance constantly, and experienced a mental fog that made her feel disconnected from life. Brain scans were normal, but one astute specialist checked her B12 levels. They were barely detectable. Within 3 weeks of taking 1,000 micrograms of methylcobalamin sublingually daily, her mental clarity began returning. After 2 months, she reported feeling 10 years younger, with energy and mental sharpness she thought were gone forever. The methylcobalamin form is crucial because it bypasses the digestive barriers that become more problematic with age. Unlike cyanocobalamin, the synthetic form in most supplements, methylcobalamin is immediately active in your nervous system, repairing damaged neurons and restoring communication between your brain and body. This single supplement has prevented countless seniors from being misdiagnosed with dementia, over-medicated for depression, or left to suffer with reversible neurological symptoms. It is completely safe even in high doses, making it one of the most important daily supplements for anyone over 60. The difference between the dangerous supplements and the beneficial ones comes down to understanding how aging changes your body's needs and capabilities. Young adults might tolerate or even benefit from high-dose vitamin E or supplemental iron, but after 60, these same supplements become harmful. Conversely, nutrients like K2 and B12 become increasingly critical as natural production and absorption decline. Making these changes to your supplement routine is not just about avoiding harm or adding benefits. It is about recognizing that your body at 60 or 70 or 80 has different requirements than it did at 30 or 40. The supplement strategy that served you well in middle age might be actively harmful now. And the supplements you never thought you needed might be the key to maintaining your independence and vitality. Start by examining every supplement you currently take. Check the labels for the dangerous forms of vitamins we have discussed. Look for high-dose vitamin E, retinol forms of vitamin A, excessive B6, and unnecessary iron. These should be eliminated unless specifically prescribed by a healthcare provider who has tested your levels. Then consider adding the beneficial supplements if you are not already taking them. Start with 1, perhaps B12 if you are experiencing any cognitive or energy issues, or magnesium glycinate if sleep and muscle cramps are problems. Add others gradually, paying attention to how your body responds. Remember that supplements are meant to supplement a healthy diet, not replace it. Focus on whole foods that naturally provide nutrients in forms your body recognizes and can regulate. Use supplements strategically to fill gaps that diet alone cannot address, particularly those created by the aging process itself. Your health after 60 is not predetermined. The choices you make about supplementation can have profound effects on your energy, cognitive function, bone strength, and overall vitality. By eliminating the dangerous supplements and adding the beneficial ones, you are taking control of your aging process rather than leaving it to chance. This information could literally save your life or dramatically improve its quality. The supplement industry will continue to market products based on profit rather than senior health, but now you have the knowledge to make informed decisions. Use it wisely, share it with others who might benefit, and take charge of your health with confidence based on scientific evidence rather than marketing claims.